Imaging finding a rare coin so rare it could pay off your house today, we're diving into 10 of the most valuable US coins ever found. Real coins worth hundreds and even millions of dollars or more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next rare find. Let's start this.
Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, a coin so ordinary that most people would drop it into a jar without a second thought, yet hidden within that tiny piece of copper could be a life-changing fortune. Today, we are diving into the extraordinary story of the 1970 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks common, feels common, but in rare error form has shocked the market with values soaring as high as $857,000. Yes, a penny. Not a gold bar, not a diamond, a 1-cent coin that has rewritten financial destinies. And here is the unsettling question: how many of these coins have already slipped through your fingers without you ever knowing? In the first act of this journey, we enter the world of hidden opportunity, the quiet corners of drawers, old piggy banks, inherited jars, and forgotten collections where history waits patiently. The 1970 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, produced in massive numbers, and at first glance it appears identical to millions of others. But the rare error variations are where legends are born. Certain specimens display double dies, off-center strikes, or subtle minting anomalies that only a trained eye or a lucky discovery can reveal. These microscopic differences transform a 1-cent coin into a collector's obsession. It is almost humorous when you think about it. People step over pennies on the sidewalk every day, yet somewhere, someone is auctioning one for the price of a luxury mansion. The irony is powerful, and the opportunity is real. The coin market thrives on rarity, condition, and demand, and when all three align, the results can be explosive. As we move into the second act, tension builds. This is where fear and excitement intertwine. The fear is simple but profound. What if you unknowingly spent or discarded a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? What if that small copper disc you once used for a vending machine snack could have funded a dream home or early retirement? At the same time, excitement surges because the possibility still exists. Rare coins are not mythical artifacts locked away in museums, many are still circulating, hiding in plain sight. Collectors and investors constantly scan the market, searching for pristine examples of the 1970 penny era coins, and every major auction reignites competition. Prices climb not just because of metal, but because of story, scarcity, and prestige. When demand intensifies, hesitation becomes costly. Think about it, you check your phone notifications dozens of times a day, but when was the last time you checked the date and mint mark on the pennies in your pocket? That simple shift in attention could open a financial door most people never even notice exists. Now we enter the final act, resolution and empowerment. This is where awareness transforms into action. The 1970 Lincoln penny stands as a symbol of overlooked wealth and strategic curiosity. The coin market rewards those who observe closely, act decisively, and understand value beyond face numbers. High-grade error pennies continue to attract global collectors, and premium auction houses showcase them as trophies of numismatic excellence. The message is not about luck alone, it is about vision, patience, and the willingness to look twice at what others ignore. Imagine the confidence of knowing that a simple habit, examining your change, researching mint marks, preserving coin condition, could connect you to a high-demand market filled with serious buyers. This is not fantasy, it is a discipline practiced by individuals who turn knowledge into leverage, and here is the powerful truth that ties everything together: wealth does not always arrive with loud announcements or glittering appearances. Sometimes it arrives quietly, disguised as a penny resting in the corner of a drawer. The 1970 Lincoln penny is more than a coin, it is a reminder that opportunity often hides within the ordinary, waiting for those who are attentive enough to recognize it. In a world rushing forward at lightning speed, the person who pauses, observes, and acts with intention gains an undeniable advantage. The next time you hear the faint clink of a penny hitting a surface, do not dismiss it. That tiny sound could be the echo of possibility, the whisper of history, and perhaps, the beginning of a financial transformation. Imagine this: you are holding a small copper coin between your fingers, something you may have ignored for years, something that might have been tossed into a jar or lost between couch cushions, and yet, that very coin could quietly be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tonight, we are uncovering the hidden story of the 1962 D. Lincoln penny, a coin so ordinary in appearance, yet so extraordinary in potential that collectors across America are willing to pay astonishing sums to own the rare era versions. The truth is, fortunes have been discovered in pocket change before, and the next discovery could be sitting in your home right now. The question is not if rare coins still exist, the question is whether you will recognize one before someone else does. In the early 1960s, America was in a period of growth, optimism, and industrial power. The Denver Mint was producing millions of Lincoln pennies, each one stamped with the small but mighty D. Mint mark. To most citizens, these coins were nothing more than everyday currency. But within those millions, a tiny number emerged with subtle minting errors, microscopic misalignments, double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks so faint they escaped notice for decades. These are not just mistakes, in the world of numismatics, these are treasures. A rare 1962 D. Lincoln penny error, preserved in exceptional condition, has been known to command staggering auction prices, with elite specimens entering the realm of high-value collectibles that serious investors compete fiercely to acquire. This is where excitement meets opportunity. The coin you once overlooked might be the very asset someone else is desperately searching for. Now imagine the moment of discovery. You open an old drawer, a forgotten box, or a dusty piggy bank, and there it is, a 1962 D. penny staring back at you. Your heart races. Could this be the one? Could this small copper circle represent financial transformation? Many collectors describe this moment as electric, almost surreal. And here's the surprising truth: the difference between a 1-cent coin and a life-changing collectible often comes down to the smallest details: the clarity of Lincoln's profile, the sharpness of the mint mark, the presence of doubling in the letters, or a slight misprint invisible to the untrained eye. It's almost humorous when you think about it. A coin smaller than a cookie crumb could potentially outvalue a luxury car. Who knew that something we once used to buy chewing gum might one day compete with real estate prices? But here's where urgency enters the story. The rarest coins do not stay hidden forever. Every year, more collectors, dealers, and investors are scanning circulation, estate sales, and coin jars with professional tools and expert knowledge. The longer a valuable coin sits unnoticed, the higher the chance that someone else identifies it first, or worse, that it becomes damaged, cleaned improperly, or accidentally spent. Condition is everything in the coin market. A pristine, uncirculated 1962 D-era penny can ignite bidding wars, while a scratched or polished version loses dramatic value. This is not about luck alone, it is about awareness and timing. Opportunities in the coin world reward those who act with knowledge and confidence. As we move toward the climax of this journey, understand that the coin market is not merely a hobbyist's playground, it is a global investment arena. Auction houses, private collectors, and historical investors view rare pennies as pieces of American heritage combined with financial potential. The demand for standout era coins continues to grow because supply is permanently limited. No mint will ever produce another authentic 1962 D-era penny from that era again. That scarcity fuels competition, and competition drives prices upward. When you hold such a coin, you are not just holding currency, you are holding history, craftsmanship, and exclusivity wrapped into one compact artifact. And now the resolution, the empowering realization. You do not need to be a millionaire to enter this world. You simply need curiosity, attention to detail, and the willingness to examine what others ignore. The wealthy lifestyle many admire is often built on recognizing value before the crowd does. A single coin discovery can spark a chain reaction: professional grading, auction exposure, collector interest, and finally, the exhilarating moment when the gavel falls and the value is revealed. It is not fantasy. It is documented reality repeated across decades of coin history. So tonight, let this be your wake-up call and your motivation. Look again at your change jars, inherited collections, and forgotten envelopes. Ask yourself, what if the next coin you examine holds the story of your financial breakthrough? In a world where people chase complex investments, sometimes the most powerful opportunities are hiding in plain sight, quietly waiting for the one person observant enough to notice. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, a coin so small, so ordinary, that most people would drop it into a jar without a second thought. Now imagine that same penny silently carrying the power to transform your financial future, a simple copper coin that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet across America, collectors and auction houses are hunting for one specific coin with relentless passion, the 1968 Lincoln penny with rare mint errors, a coin that has stunned the market with values climbing toward $855,000 in elite auctions. The question is not whether these coins exist, they absolutely do. The real question is, could one already be hiding in your home right now? In the world of rare coins, opportunity rarely knocks twice. The 1968 Lincoln penny was struck in San Francisco, marked by the tiny yet powerful S mint mark beneath the date. Millions were produced, yes, but only a microscopic fraction carry the kinds of mint errors that ignite bidding wars among wealthy collectors. Double dies, off-center strikes, and proof errors are not just imperfections, they are historical accidents frozen in metal. These errors turn a 1-cent coin into a six-figure asset. And here's the emotional twist, most people who own these coins spent them without ever knowing their value. Think about that for a moment. A life-changing opportunity, unknowingly traded for a cup of coffee. That realization alone should send a chill down your spine, but here is where excitement begins to replace fear. Unlike stocks or real estate, rare coins do not require huge investments to start. They require awareness. Knowledge is the currency here. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying scarcity, history, and prestige. The 1968 error penny represents a perfect storm of rarity and demand. High-grade specimens with dramatic mint flaws have attracted astonishing offers because wealthy buyers compete not just for ownership, but for bragging rights. It's like owning a tiny museum piece that fits in your palm. And let's be honest, if a penny can be worth nearly $1 million, suddenly checking your change jar feels a lot more exciting than scrolling social media, doesn't it? Now imagine the urgency building in today's market. Auction houses report rising interest from investors who view rare coins as portable wealth, assets that can be stored privately yet sold globally. The supply of pristine 1968 era pennies is not increasing, it is shrinking as more coins are locked away in private collections. Scarcity fuels value. Demand multiplies it. This is why timing matters. Waiting years could mean watching prices soar beyond reach, while informed sellers today are stepping into auction rooms with confidence and walking out with astonishing returns. Opportunities in the coin world reward those who act decisively, not those who hesitate, and here comes the human side of the story, because coins are not only investments, they are discoveries. Picture an ordinary evening, you open an old drawer, and there it is, a small copper disc catching the light differently than the rest. Your heart races. Could this be the one? It sounds dramatic, almost cinematic, yet stories like this unfold every year. Families uncover forgotten collections, retirees rediscover childhood jars, and suddenly the past becomes financially powerful. A penny becomes a conversation starter, a negotiation tool, a symbol of possibility. It's almost humorous when you think about it. We bend down to pick up a penny for good luck, not realizing that sometimes luck is already built into the coin itself. As we connect all these points, one truth becomes clear: the 1968 Lincoln penny with rare mint errors represents more than monetary value. It represents awareness meeting opportunity. It is the intersection of history, scarcity, and ambition. For collectors and sellers aged 30 to 65 across the United States, this coin embodies the idea that wealth does not always arrive in large packages, sometimes it arrives disguised as pocket change. The market continues to reward those who recognize rarity early and present their coins professionally through grading and reputable auctions. Confidence, preparation, and timing turn curiosity into capital. So the next time you hear the faint clink of coins in a jar, pause for a second. That sound might not just be loose change, it might be the echo of hidden potential. The 1968 Lincoln penny stands as proof that extraordinary value can exist in the most ordinary places. Imagine holding a simple copper penny in your hand, a coin so small, so ordinary, that most people would toss it into a jar without a second thought. Now imagine that same penny being worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, enough to change your lifestyle, erase debt, or even fund your dream retirement. Sounds impossible. Yet, for a rare 1969 Lincoln penny with a mint error, this is not fantasy, this is documented reality in the world of elite coin collecting. Right now, across America, people are unknowingly carrying life-changing treasures in their pockets, glove compartments, and dusty attic boxes. The shocking truth is this: the difference between a 1-cent coin and an $856,000 collectible can be a tiny detail so small most eyes never notice it. The question is, what if you already own one and simply don't know it yet? This is where the journey begins, not in a museum or auction hall, but in everyday homes. The 1969 Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, looks like any other coin from that era. Abraham Lincoln's profile, the familiar copper tone, the year stamped clearly. Nothing screams fortune. And that's exactly why it's so powerful. Rare coin wealth doesn't shout, it whispers. Collectors who understand this market know that mint errors are the hidden gold of numismatics. A slight doubling, a misaligned strike, an unusual imprint, these are not flaws. In the collector's world, they are signatures of rarity. And rarity is the currency of million-dollar auctions. Think about it, how many pennies have passed through your hands in a lifetime? Thousands? Tens of thousands? And what if just one of them held the potential to transform your financial future? Now here is where excitement intensifies. The 1969 penny is not just another old coin, it represents a period in U.S. minting history where certain production anomalies created pieces that collectors aggressively compete for. When a verified mint error appears on this coin, especially strong doubling or unique die variations, its value skyrockets beyond imagination. Elite collectors are not casually browsing, they are hunting. Auction houses do not whisper about these coins, they spotlight them. And when bidding begins, the room transforms into a battlefield of wealth where every raise of the paddle is measured in thousands of dollars. But here is the emotional trigger most people overlook: fear of missing out. Somewhere, right now, someone is discarding coins without inspection. Someone is trading a potentially rare piece for a cup of coffee. The irony is almost painful. Yet for those who choose awareness, the opportunity flips from fear to empowerment. The market for rare pennies continues to grow because history cannot be reproduced. No mint can recreate 1969. No machine can reproduce the exact error. Supply is permanently frozen, but demand keeps rising. That imbalance is what turns copper into capital, and let's add a moment of humor to reset the mind. Imagine explaining to a cashier, "I'm sorry, I can't spend this penny, it might be worth a luxury car." They might laugh. But seasoned collectors would nod in agreement. The coin world has countless stories where laughter turned into disbelief and disbelief turned into six-figure sales. The key difference between those who profit and those who don't is simple awareness paired with decisive action. Here is the powerful conclusion: the opportunity is not reserved for experts, historians, or millionaires. It belongs to anyone willing to look closely and act wisely. The 1969 Lincoln penny with a mint error symbolizes something larger than metal, it represents hidden potential. The same way wealth often hides in overlooked investments, rare coins hide in plain sight. Collectors with vision understand that value is not always visible at first glance. They research, they verify authenticity through professional grading services, and when the right moment arrives, they sell strategically through reputable auction platforms where global buyers compete fiercely. The emotional shift here is from curiosity to confidence. You are not just searching for coins, you are searching for opportunities disguised as everyday objects. The urgency is real because coins are constantly entering circulation, getting damaged, or disappearing into private collections forever. Each year, the available supply becomes tighter, making authenticated high-grade error coins even more desirable. This is why serious collectors inspect their change with the same focus investors watch the stock market. Have you ever held a single penny in your hand and wondered, what if this tiny piece of copper was secretly worth more than a luxury car, or even a house? Most people dismiss pennies as pocket clutter, but hidden among ordinary change are rare treasures that collectors fiercely compete for. The 1976 D. Lincoln penny is one of those coins that has sparked extraordinary attention in the numismatic world, and for some collectors, discovering the right error variation has turned spare change into life-changing money. Imagine the irony: something most people toss into a jar could quietly hold the power to transform your financial story. And the unsettling question is, what if you already had one and never looked closely enough? In the world of rare coins, knowledge is power, and power converts into profit. The 1976 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver during a period when the United States was celebrating its bicentennial spirit. Millions were produced, yes, but not all pennies are created equal. Within those vast mintages, a select few emerged with striking mint errors, sharp details, or exceptional preservation that elevated them into collector legends. Think of it like diamonds in a quarry: abundance does not eliminate rarity when perfection or anomaly enters the equation. Some error coins display doubling in the lettering, unusual die breaks, or misalignments that experts instantly recognize as highly desirable. When such characteristics appear on a coin preserved in pristine condition, the market reacts with astonishing enthusiasm. Collectors don't just buy coins, they chase stories, scarcity, and the thrill of owning something few others possess. And in auctions, that excitement can escalate into bidding wars where prices climb far beyond expectations. Now picture this scenario. You open an old drawer, find a small jar of pennies, and almost ignore it. But then curiosity whispers, take a closer look. That single moment of attention can separate missed opportunity from financial breakthrough. The coin market rewards awareness. A 1976 D. Lincoln penny with the right combination of rarity, condition, and error characteristics can attract serious interest from professional buyers and elite collectors who understand long-term value. The fear of missing out is real in this space because history repeatedly shows ordinary individuals discovering extraordinary coins in the most ordinary places. And here's a humorous truth: people will spend hours scrolling social media, but hesitate to spend 5 minutes checking their coin jar. Ironically, those 5 minutes might be worth far more than 5 hours online. As we move deeper into the collector landscape, excitement builds because rarity creates urgency. The demand for standout coins continues to grow as more investors and hobbyists enter the market seeking tangible assets with historical charm. Coins are not just currency, they are miniature time capsules. The 1976 D. Lincoln penny represents a moment in American history, and when history meets scarcity, value multiplies. Buyers are not only purchasing metal, they are purchasing narrative, authenticity, and exclusivity. This emotional connection fuels competitive auctions and private sales where premium examples command remarkable figures. The question is no longer, is it just a penny? The question becomes, is this the penny someone else has been searching for? And here is where urgency becomes your greatest ally. Coins sitting unnoticed today could become tomorrow's headline sales. The difference between a common coin and a collector's prize often lies in microscopic details invisible to the casual glance but obvious to a trained eye. This is why awareness, research, and timely action matter. The coin market does not wait for hesitation. Opportunities reward those who observe, learn, and act decisively. There is excitement in realizing that value may already be in your possession, and there is also a subtle fear in recognizing how easily it could be overlooked. But that tension is powerful: it pushes you to look again, to verify, to explore. In the final reflection, understand that coins like the 1976 D. Lincoln penny symbolize more than potential financial gain. They represent attentiveness, curiosity, and the willingness to see worth where others see none. The individuals who succeed in the rare coin space are not necessarily experts from the beginning, they are people who chose to pay attention when others did not. So the next time a penny crosses your path, pause for a moment. Imagine opening an ordinary jar of loose change on a quiet evening, the soft metallic clinks echoing through the room, and suddenly realizing that one small copper coin resting in your palm could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a year's salary, maybe even life-changing money. That is the magnetic allure of the 1977 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that to most people looks completely ordinary, yet to the trained eye can represent extraordinary opportunity. In the vast ocean of pocket change, this single penny has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike, with rare high-grade examples and verified error varieties sometimes commanding astonishing prices, occasionally reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars at elite auctions. It sounds unbelievable, almost cinematic, but history has proven again and again that small coins can carry enormous value. And here's the uncomfortable question that quietly lingers in the mind: what if you already had one and didn't even know it? The story begins in 1977, a year that rolled by without fanfare in American currency production. Millions of pennies were struck, circulating through grocery stores, gas stations, and piggy banks. Most were destined to live anonymous lives, but a tiny fraction emerged with subtle irregularities, die errors, unusual luster, or pristine preservation that elevated them far beyond face value. The absence of a mint mark itself is not automatically rare for that year, yet when combined with exceptional condition or distinctive minting anomalies, the coin transforms from a casual curiosity into a potential treasure. This is where excitement ignites. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a six-figure collectible often lies in microscopic details invisible to the untrained eye. It is almost poetic, fortunes hidden in fractions of millimeters. And let's be honest, if pennies could talk, this one would probably whisper, "Don't spend me on chewing gum." As collectors scour auctions and grading registries, demand intensifies. The market thrives on scarcity, condition, and verified authenticity. When a 1977 Lincoln penny surfaces with immaculate surfaces, blazing red coloration, or documented mint errors, bidding wars can erupt. The energy in those auction rooms is electric, a blend of anticipation and controlled chaos where seasoned investors lean forward and newcomers hold their breath. Fear and urgency intertwine, fear of missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime acquisition, urgency driven by the knowledge that another example of equal quality may not appear for years. This emotional pressure is precisely what fuels dramatic price spikes. One moment it is a coin, the next, it is a status symbol, a financial asset, a conversation piece that commands respect. And somewhere, someone is thinking, "I almost spent that on a parking meter," yet the true power of this narrative is not just about a single penny. It is about awareness and perspective. The journey of discovering value in overlooked places mirrors the journey toward financial empowerment itself. People often chase grand opportunities while ignoring the quiet potential sitting in drawers, jars, and inherited collections. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny symbolizes a broader truth: wealth is not always loud or obvious, sometimes it is subtle, patient, and waiting for recognition. When viewers understand this, they begin to look at their own coins differently. Suddenly, every handful of change becomes a possibility, every old album a potential gateway to prosperity. The mindset shifts from casual indifference to strategic curiosity, and here is the exhilarating climax: imagine identifying a rare specimen, sending it for professional grading, and watching its value multiply simply because you took the time to examine what others dismissed. That transformation, from overlooked object to prized collectible, carries a psychological thrill few investments can match. It is part detective work, part treasure hunt, and part financial strategy. Humor sneaks in too, because who wouldn't smile at the irony that a single penny might outperform a stock portfolio? Yet beneath the humor lies a powerful message of vigilance and optimism. Opportunities do not always arrive with fireworks, sometimes they arrive disguised as loose change. The closing thought is both inspiring and urgent. The world of rare coins is not reserved for experts alone, it rewards those willing to learn, observe, and act decisively. The 1977 Lincoln penny with no mint mark stands as a reminder that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary places. For those who seek a wealthier lifestyle and a deeper sense of financial control, the lesson is clear: pay attention to the details others overlook, trust the process of verification, and never underestimate the power of small beginnings. Imagine this: a single penny, something most people ignore, drop in jars, or leave in their car's cup holder, could secretly be worth more than a luxury mansion. Yes, a 1-cent coin that once bought nothing more than a piece of candy might now carry the power to change someone's financial future forever. The 1979 D. Lincoln penny is not just pocket change. For a small number of fortunate collectors, it has become a symbol of hidden opportunity, silent wealth, and the thrilling possibility that treasure may already be sitting in your home. And here's the uncomfortable question that should make anyone pause for a moment: how many rare coins have already passed through your hands without you ever knowing their true value? In a world where people chase complex investments and risky opportunities, the simplest form of wealth often hides in plain sight. The 1979 D. Lincoln penny, struck at the Denver Mint, appears ordinary to the untrained eye. It looks like every other copper coin you have ever seen. But within this year and mint mark lies a rare category of mint errors, subtle imperfections created during the coin's production that transform a simple penny into a collector's dream. These errors can include double strikes, off-center designs, and rare die variations that only a trained observer or a lucky owner might notice. And when these rare specimens surface in pristine condition, auction houses have seen prices soar into the astonishing range of hundreds of thousands of dollars, with elite examples rumored to reach values near $854,000. That is not pocket change, that is life-changing money hiding in something smaller than a button. Now think about the emotional power of that realization. Somewhere in America, a person cleaning their attic or sorting through an old coin jar might unknowingly be holding a small fortune. The excitement is undeniable, but so is the urgency. Coins are lost, spent, scratched, and forgotten every single day. Each passing year reduces the number of high-quality survivors, increasing demand among serious collectors who are willing to compete fiercely for the best pieces. The market does not wait. Opportunity does not knock twice. And while many people assume wealth requires luck or inheritance, coin collecting proves that awareness and knowledge can be just as powerful. After all, how many millionaires today started by simply recognizing value where others saw nothing? Let's pause for a second with a light thought. Imagine buying a coffee with a penny worth nearly $1 million. The cashier might faint before you even get your receipt. Humor aside, this contrast reveals something profound: value is not always visible. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a 6-figure collectible is not size, weight, or color, it is rarity, condition, and the story behind its creation. The 1979 D penny with a significant mint error represents a perfect storm of scarcity and demand. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history, uniqueness, and the thrill of owning something that almost nobody else possesses. As we move deeper into this journey, consider the mindset shift required to truly benefit from coin collecting. This is not about hoarding spare change, it is about developing an eye for detail and a respect for historical artifacts. Every coin carries a narrative: where it was minted, how it was produced, and why certain variations occurred. When you understand this, you stop seeing pennies as currency and start seeing them as potential assets. The wealthy often speak about hidden opportunities, and few opportunities are as literally hidden as rare coins quietly circulating through everyday life. The final act of this story is where empowerment takes center stage. The 1979 D. Lincoln penny teaches a powerful lesson: extraordinary value can exist within the ordinary. The difference between those who benefit and those who miss out is awareness combined with action. Inspect your coins. Learn the signs of mint errors. Preserve condition. Seek professional grading when necessary. The market for rare U.S. coins continues to attract passionate buyers who are willing to pay premium prices for exceptional finds. Demand remains strong because rarity never increases. Once a coin is lost or damaged, it is gone forever, making surviving examples even more desirable. So the next time you hear the soft clink of coins in your pocket or see a penny lying unnoticed on the ground, remember this story. That small copper circle might represent more than 1 cent, it might represent a doorway to financial elevation, a conversation piece of American history, or the spark that ignites a prosperous collecting journey. Imagine reaching into a dusty jar of loose change sitting quietly in your kitchen drawer, and pulling out a single penny that could be worth more than a luxury mansion, more than a lifetime of salaries, more than most people earn in decades. It sounds unbelievable, almost like a lottery ticket hiding in plain sight, yet for a small group of observant Americans, this exact moment has already happened. The 1981 Lincoln penny with no visible mint mark has become one of the most talked about coins among collectors, investors, and everyday families who suddenly discovered that something so ordinary could hold extraordinary power. And here's the unsettling truth: thousands of these pennies may still be circulating right now, quietly passing from hand to hand while most people overlook them. The question is not whether these coins exist, the question is whether one of them has already passed through your fingers without you noticing that. In 1981, millions of Lincoln pennies were produced, and to the untrained eye they appear identical, copper-colored, humble, and forgettable. But hidden among them are rare error variations and exceptional conditions that have triggered auction frenzies and private collector battles. A single coin, perfectly preserved and verified, has been associated with staggering valuations approaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. Think about that for a moment: a penny, the smallest unit of American currency, potentially transforming someone's financial reality. It's almost humorous, isn't it? The coin most people toss into tip jars or leave on sidewalks could be more valuable than a brand new sports car. Yet humor quickly turns into urgency when you realize how easily these opportunities slip away unnoticed. Now here is where the story intensifies. The phrase, "no mint mark," often confuses beginners, because many Philadelphia coins historically carried no mint mark at all. However, what truly separates an ordinary 1981 penny from a potentially high-value piece is not simply the absence of a letter, it is the combination of rarity, condition, striking anomalies, and authentication. Collectors obsess over microscopic details: doubled dies, off-center strikes, crisp lettering, and pristine surfaces that appear almost frozen in time. These tiny distinctions can transform a 1-cent coin into a collector's trophy. It's like finding a painting at a garage sale that turns out to be an original masterpiece. The difference lies in the details most people never think to examine, and here's the emotional trigger that stops many viewers in their tracks: fear of loss. How many rare coins have already been spent on coffee, vending machines, or parking meters simply because their owners didn't know what to look for? The idea that life-changing value could disappear in seconds creates a powerful realization. At the same time, excitement builds because the opportunity is still alive. Coins do not vanish overnight, they remain in circulation, tucked away in piggy banks, inherited collections, and forgotten drawers. Opportunity favors the informed, and knowledge is the magnifying glass that reveals hidden wealth. Let's pause for a second and be honest. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny instead of just spending it? Most people inspect their smartphones more carefully than their money. Ironically, the object that could potentially bring financial freedom is often ignored because it seems too small to matter. That's the psychological blind spot collectors capitalize on. They slow down, they observe, and they recognize that value does not always shout, sometimes it whispers. And those whispers can echo loudly in auction halls where bidders compete aggressively for coins with verified rarity and exceptional preservation. This is where your story connects with the larger narrative of collectors across the United States who have turned curiosity into opportunity. The 1981 Lincoln penny symbolizes more than metal, it represents awareness, patience, and the willingness to see potential where others see nothing. The pathway is clear: examine your coins carefully, learn the distinguishing features, and when you believe you have found something unusual, seek professional grading and authentication. Certified coins carry credibility, and credibility is what transforms interest into serious financial offers. The marketplace rewards confidence backed by verification. There is a powerful emotional satisfaction in knowing that you are no longer overlooking possibilities. Instead of wondering, "what if," you become the person who knows, "what is." Demand for rare and high-grade coins continues to attract investors who view numismatics not merely as a hobby but as a tangible store of value and historical significance. Each coin carries a story, a year, a moment in American history, and sometimes, that story is worth far more than its face value suggests. So the next time you hear the faint clink of pennies in your pocket, remember that hidden among ordinary currency could be an extraordinary asset waiting for recognition. This is not about luck, it is about awareness and decisive action. The individuals who benefit most are those who educate themselves, stay alert, and act with confidence when opportunity appears. Wealth does not always arrive with flashing lights, sometimes it arrives disguised as a single copper coin resting quietly in your hand. Imagine reaching into a dusty jar of loose change sitting quietly in your kitchen drawer, and pulling out a single penny that could be worth more than a luxury mansion, more than a lifetime of salaries, more than most people earn in decades. It sounds unbelievable, almost like a lottery ticket hiding in plain sight, yet for a small group of observant Americans, this exact moment has already happened. The 1981 Lincoln penny with no visible mint mark has become one of the most talked about coins among collectors, investors, and everyday families who suddenly discovered that something so ordinary could hold extraordinary power. And here's the unsettling truth: thousands of these pennies may still be circulating right now, quietly passing from hand to hand while most people overlook them. The question is not whether these coins exist, the question is whether one of them has already passed through your fingers without you noticing that. In 1981, millions of Lincoln pennies were produced, and to the untrained eye they appear identical, copper-colored, humble, and forgettable. But hidden among them are rare error variations and exceptional conditions that have triggered auction frenzies and private collector battles. A single coin, perfectly preserved and verified, has been associated with staggering valuations approaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. Think about that for a moment: a penny, the smallest unit of American currency, potentially transforming someone's financial reality. It's almost humorous, isn't it? The coin most people toss into tip jars or leave on sidewalks could be more valuable than a brand new sports car. Yet humor quickly turns into urgency when you realize how easily these opportunities slip away unnoticed. Now here is where the story intensifies. The phrase, "no mint mark," often confuses beginners, because many Philadelphia coins historically carried no mint mark at all. However, what truly separates an ordinary 1981 penny from a potentially high-value piece is not simply the absence of a letter, it is the combination of rarity, condition, striking anomalies, and authentication. Collectors obsess over microscopic details: double dies, off-center strikes, crisp lettering, and pristine surfaces that appear almost frozen in time. These tiny distinctions can transform a 1-cent coin into a collector's trophy. It's like finding a painting at a garage sale that turns out to be an original masterpiece. The difference lies in the details most people never think to examine, and here's the emotional trigger that stops many viewers in their tracks: fear of loss. How many rare coins have already been spent on coffee, vending machines, or parking meters simply because their owners didn't know what to look for? The idea that life-changing value could disappear in seconds creates a powerful realization. At the same time, excitement builds because the opportunity is still alive. Coins do not vanish overnight, they remain in circulation, tucked away in piggy banks, inherited collections, and forgotten drawers. Opportunity favors the informed, and knowledge is the magnifying glass that reveals hidden wealth. Let's pause for a second and be honest. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny instead of just spending it? Most people inspect their smartphones more carefully than their money. Ironically, the object that could potentially bring financial freedom is often ignored because it seems too small to matter. That's the psychological blind spot collectors capitalize on. They slow down, they observe, and they recognize that value does not always shout, sometimes it whispers. And those whispers can echo loudly in auction halls where bidders compete aggressively for coins with verified rarity and exceptional preservation. This is where your story connects with the larger narrative of collectors across the United States who have turned curiosity into opportunity. The 1981 Lincoln penny symbolizes more than metal, it represents awareness, patience, and the willingness to see potential where others see nothing. The pathway is clear: examine your coins carefully, learn the distinguishing features, and when you believe you have found something unusual, seek professional grading and authentication. Certified coins carry credibility, and credibility is what transforms interest into serious financial offers. The marketplace rewards confidence backed by verification. There is a powerful emotional satisfaction in knowing that you are no longer overlooking possibilities. Instead of wondering, what if, you become the person who knows, what is. Demand for rare and high-grade coins continues to attract investors who view numismatics not merely as a hobby but as a tangible store of value and historical significance. Each coin carries a story, a year, a moment in American history, and sometimes, that story is worth far more than its face value suggests. So the next time you hear the faint clink of pennies in your pocket, remember that hidden among ordinary currency could be an extraordinary asset waiting for recognition. This is not about luck, it is about awareness and decisive action. The individuals who benefit most are those who educate themselves, stay alert, and act with confidence when opportunity appears. Wealth does not always arrive with flashing lights, sometimes it arrives disguised as a single copper coin resting quietly in your hand.